Alrighty then. Okay, everything seems to be working. Sorry if I sound sleepy because I've had a bit of a crazy day at work. Well, I say crazy, it's just my regular day, but they just keep piling it up, especially now we're going back into lockdown. But enough about my day job. So, update on the Metroid Prime stream. I've received the refund for my... Hey Skylar, Ridley, how you both doing? And... yeah, if you mean next game, more or less ready. Basically, my plan for that is I'm going to make Fridays my Ace Attorney stream, because I can basically just stream that and stop at any time. So I'm not late for the game. And I won't be cosplaying for that. And obviously there's a poll on my Twitter. That's sticky at the top if anyone wants to drop down, follow the link below and vote. And I believe Bloodstained is leading by a very small margin. And we'll just pretend that's the only vote of any sort going on at the moment. And when I'm streaming whatever the replacement for Metroid Prime is, I'll obviously cosplay for that. Even if it's... they're all Metroidvanias, but only one's an actual Metroid game, but who cares? And... oh yeah, and I've ordered a new capture card. Speaking of which, thanks to Ridley for the suggestion of where to get one from. And I don't know how long that'll take to arrive, but you never know, I might actually have that up and running by Monday. Now, anyway, without any further ado... Whoa. That was a close one. We're safe by a hair, but that's all that counts. I thought seriously about going home 3 times during the trial. How does it go to go home? Me too. Really? You both seem so confident. Maybe I should take up a career in acting. I was ready to pronounce you dead about 3 times back there. Me too. Dead? Of course we're kidding. Are you sure? I wasn't kidding. Now, Mr. Powers, we have to go make our final investigation. But I promise you, we'll find the true killer by tomorrow's trial. Even though we're actually supposed to just be proving you innocent, and who the actual killer's someone else's problem, but... you know, that's just boring. Right. Thanks. And that's the stream over. Thanks for coming, everyone. Yep, any percentage stream speed run. Well, Skylar, you could just prove reasonable doubt. I mean, okay, they've got the in-universe justification that reasonable doubt isn't so reasonable anymore, because it's a futuristic dystopia, but there we go. Anyways, October the 19th, 3:27 PM, Writing Co-Law offices. Boom, boom. That was a close one. Mia. Really? Too bad. I'm sorry I missed it. Question mark. Mayor?
So, what happened?
Well, I think I've got a pretty good idea who did it. Now all I need is a motive and proof. Which, okay, that means I don't actually have that good an idea, but I suspect someone is a hunch.
Wow, good going, Nick.
Under the initial trial system, tomorrow is the last day we'll have.
Initial trial? What's that?
That's the new court system they introduced 2 or 3 years ago. It actually sort of vaguely resembles the contemporary Japanese system, because this game is set in America and not Japan. They had so many cases in the system, they decided to speed the whole process up.
Really, Skylar? You know, thinking about it, Phoenix Wright doesn't actually have that many girls in it. Like, you get maybe 1 woman per trial, 1-2 women per case, not counting Mia and Maya. So, under that system, trials have to end in 3 days?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we've got no time to waste. I must examine the plant. Mia's favourite potted plant. Maya has been watering it so much lately it looks a little swollen. And we're going to king shame. She's either trying to make it grow or she's perfecting her water torture technique.
See if she thinks anything of the new evidence.
This is Cody's.
Hey, a digital camera! I'm impressed a kid like him would have something like this, something this expensive. Kids these days. Oh yeah. Do you remember when digital cameras were expensive and you didn't really have them unless you really wanted to photograph things? Yeah, to be fair, it does have sort of an even ratio. It's just that sort of this early on, most of the dialogue is between Phoenix, the judge, Edgeworth, and whatever witness there is. So that sort of skews it a bit.
I don't imagine spirit mediums in training get a lot of toys. What do you think about this? It's that fanboy's prized possession.
Wow, impressive! It's a little different from the Steel Samurai on TV.
These are mostly taken at those PR shoes they do at stores and fairs. I'm pretty sure it's not even Will Powers inside that suit.
No true fan would be satisfied with anything less than the real thing. He's still a child, I suppose. I guess it takes an adult to appreciate the real deal. Right, Nick? I can't believe Phoenix Wright predicted bronies.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Okay. The Steel Samurai?
I don't guess it, Mayor. Why did Mr. Hammer steal the Steel Samurai costume?
What? You mean Mr. Hammer was wearing the costume?
Yeah.
But Mr. Hammer was the victim, Nick. But why would he go through the trouble of stealing it? Wow, sorry about that, Ridley. But you know it to be true.
That's what we have to find out.
What happened with the director's testimony?
Well, it's pretty clear that the producer and the director are both in the trailer.
Huh?
Which means that the killer has to be one of them.
Really? Why?
Because the real scene of the crime was Studio 2, where that trailer is.
Hey, kind of like how they sort of let you reiterate the whole case after the checkpoint. That's actually a pretty good design. What?
Was Mary always this excitable?
Have you been paying attention, Phoenix?
Well, have you noticed anything that might help us?
I can't see what's going on when Mia is here. So, no, I haven't noticed anything.
Right.
Maybe we should go talk to WP.
WP. Powers. Right. I'm a lawyer, so I guess could use his surname. Like an adult.
October the 19th, Detention Centre, Visitors Room.
Mr. Wright, you did very well again today. Thank you. Oh, thanks. Could you not look like you're about to burst into tears?
Wow, Nick, you must have really wowed him in there.
And could you wipe that grin off your face? Nobody may show emotions when I'm around.
Okay. I can't actually tell what that clip is. Alright, thanks for the clip. Hey, WP, only 1 day left. Let's make it count.
Yes. Though there's not really anything I can do to help.
I'm not really sure what I can do either.
Please, this is no laughing matter.
Producer Vasquez?
Could you tell me more about Miss Vasquez?
Oh, the producer. She's well respected in the industry. They say she's a genius. A genius? She's been at Global Studios for 5 years now. Right or wrong, nobody dares tell her different these days.
Why is that?
Ever since she came on board, we've had nothing but hits. Global Studios was on its knees, but she picked it up and made it shine. Oh, and... And what? Nothing. Forget it. I've only heard rumours anyhow.
Can you tell me anything about Mr. Manila? You know, other than the fact he's clearly an incel.
Oh, he used to be a minor straight-to-video director. We can't say porn, but it was porn. But something in his work caught Vasquez's eye. Try not to think too much about it. She brought the Steel Samurai idea to him. Now everyone knows the name Sal Manila. I hear he's pretty much at her beck and call, though. Whenever she says jump, he asks how high, and all that. I don't know how he'd say that in Leeds, but there we go.
I can imagine him being at her beck and call, though I can't imagine him jumping.
I was wondering about Mr. Hammer. He was a big star back in the day, right? But then he just dropped off the face of the earth. Oh, yes, you're right. In fact, he was my role model when I was started in this business. He just stopped taking on big roles. That's when he began appearing in little productions at Global. How could he do that? I was really looking forward to a sequel to Samurai Summer. He just gave up being a star 5 years ago. Actually, now that I think about it, that was right when Miss Vasquez came to Global.
5 years ago. Okay, so I'm still a lawyer.
Excuse me. Thank you for showing me that, whatever it is. I wish I could think of some way for me to help you. Sorry.
Have you seen this, Mr. Powers?
What's that? I've never seen these steel samurais in my life.
These are the steel samurais that appear in live shows. A fanboy collected all these pictures himself.
Seeing things like this really makes me think. I mean so much to these kids, you know. Well, Powers was himbos before himbos had been codified. Just saying. Oh, RIP my vocal cords. October the 19th, Global Studios main gate. Oh, they've caused a break. The old windbag sure is quiet today. You know, this place is really peaceful like this. Nick? I think her guard's down.
Yeah?
I bet we could even eat those donuts in the guard station if we wanted.
You eat, you die.
Phew, she's alive. Oh, reality subtext.
I was wondering about De Vasquez, the producer. Oh, the studio bigwigs love her, so she always gets her way. She seems bitter.
Do you not like the producer?
Look, the studio people don't want me talking about her, so sorry.
Oh, random trivia, Skylar. Okay, random trivia. The human eye is most sensitive to the colour green. The leading theory for this is because we evolved colour vision to be able to tell when fruits were ripe, and the seeing green light was most important for this.
Can I ask you about Salmonella, the director? Sal? He's a posh pushover. A pushover. Does what Vasquez tells him to. She treats him like dirt, but I think he likes it.
Huh? Why'd anyone like being treated by dirt? Sorry, I just needed to inhale for a second there. That doesn't make any sense, does it, Nick?
No it doesn't, Mayor. About Mr. Hammer. I heard about what you said today, cheeky whippersnapper. Poor old Hammer. You drag his star down from the sky and stomp on it? Calling him a criminal? A thief? I won't forget this. Uh-oh, she's really pissed this time. Listen to me, whippersnapper. My poor old Hammer would do no such thing. Why would he steal Pa's costume so he could sneak by me? He would never stoop so low. It's impossible.
Yep, there goes my vocal cords again.
Miss Oldback, what do you think about this? Think? I'm not in the mood for thinking, thank you very much.
Okay.
Miss Oldbag? What? Get that filth out of my sight. And you're claiming that's poor old Hammer in there? And I thought you were such an innocent youth. Bah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Although, oh. Speaking of green, did you know that mirrors are technically green? Mirrors reflect most of the colours perfectly, but slightly absorb the colour green, which is why if you're in a mirror room and look deep enough into the reflections, it starts to fade to green. Well, that's not technically true. Well, it is true, but it really depends on the glass that's... Because obviously a mirror consists of glass that's got a layer of reflective material on it, and the tint in the mirror actually depends on the glass in question. Very high quality mirrors don't actually have a green tint to them, and some mirrors actually have a different tint to them because they use glass with different impurities in it. Yep, you're right, Ridley. Odd bag just be that way. Although I don't think she ever thought Phoenix was an innocent youth. Oops. Nothing to say about that. Okay, let's move on. October the 19th, Global Studios employee area. I guess they're not filming today either. I did want to see them filming, just one time.
This trial will be over and done with by tomorrow. You can come and see them film later.
I guess. This is where you found that bottle of sleeping pills, right?
Uh-huh.
I wonder if there are any other clues lying around.
Ah! No, no, no touching.
Yeah!
Oh, sorry, pal. Didn't mean to frighten you.
Didn't mean. I almost had a heart attack.
I guess I can be a little dramatic at times. I suppose it's the actor in me. Dramatic indeed. Anyway, I'm here to examine the plate on the table. Wait, are you looking for sleeping pills? Yeah, pal. Traces thereof.
I guess you could say Gumshoe's got a lot on his plate. Hey Fry, how you doing? So you're looking for traces of sleeping pills? How? Oh, good, good.
For a thorough examination, I gotta take the plate back to the precinct. But I have the capabilities to make a cursory examination right here. Our science guy gave me some tested solution. This reacts to those sleeping pills C. If there are traces, it'll change colour.
Wow, neat. Well, Detective Gumshoe, what are you waiting for?
Now, everything in due time, pal. Well, the testing the testing solution on the plate changed colour, all right.
And that's good, Fry.
So the food on this plate had been laced with sleeping pills. Looks like it.
Steak plate added to the court record. Steak plate. Found in the employee area. On it are traces of sleeping pills and a large bone. That's very strange wording. Not too bad. Kind of sleepy from work, but I've got my I've got a capture card that will hopefully work ordered because the refund for that came through. I was just explaining the new schedule for streaming, but well, I'll put a tweet up about it. But basically, it's going to be Phoenix Fright on Fridays. Mondays and Wednesdays are still going to be cosplay streams. And I'm going to, well, there's a poll up for what I can play until I've got Metroid Prime up and running. And I guess I'll arrange a different stream when I've got another one of those cosplays sorted out.
How goes your investigation? Tell the truth, it's a real mess, pal. Some people think we should pursue the case we already have against Powers, and some people think we should switch suspects.
What do you think, Detective Gumshoe?
Oh, pal, I hate to admit it, but I'm not sure I buy the case against Mr. Powers anymore. I feel kind of bad for Mr. Edgeworth, though.
How's Edgeworth doing, anyway?
Mr. Edgeworth is out of control. He was in the waiting room and he crushed this paper cup with hot coffee in it.
Whoa.
Talk about burns, pal.
Wow, the fury of Edgeworth! Yeah, crushing paper cups. Cups, bottles. Say, whatever happened with that empty bottle?
Oh, the bottle of sleeping pills. Well, I got some good news for you about that. They found the victim Jack Hanna's prints on the bottle.
So that means...
Yeah, sounds like the one who put Powers to sleep was none other than the victim.
So I was right. Sleeping pill bottle added to the court record. Sleeping pill bottle, found on the table in the employee area, bears Jack Hammer's fingerprints. Yeah, Maya's like 19. And I don't know if there's an official age for her older sister, but she's older than Phoenix because she was qualified as a lawyer when Phoenix was still in law school. Actually, no, I'm not sure. They might be the same age because I think she was a prostitute or something. Detective, about the bottle.
Oh, that. Talk about embarrassing, pal. I can't believe I missed that on my first sweep for evidence. Don't know how I can apologise to Mr. Edgeworth.
It must be tough being a detective with all that responsibility.
Hey, Cap.
Yep, she was qualified as a lawyer when Phoenix was still in art school.
It's looking like Will Powers was drugged.
Okay, and I'm just going to apologise for my Gumshoe voice here, because I just can't get a deep voice today.
I'm going back to the precinct to do more detailed tests.
You're being very free with your information today, Detective.
Well, don't go telling anyone this, pal. But I was kind of impressed at today's trial, too.
Wonder if that'll stick.
Most lawyers would have given up after the director's testimony. I think it had been anyone but you up there. Powers would be done for by now.
Okay, that'd make me a couple of years older than Phoenix then, because I think he's like mid-20s.
I'm guessing I know about as much about that as you do, pal, i.e. nothing.
Oops. Okay. Anything new here? Nope. Let's see what's in here then. Phew, I was worried it would be Manila again. Oh, hello. What are you doing here? Oh, I was just cleaning up the dressing room. I guess WP won't be using it anymore, so... What? Why? But WP is innocent. Yes, and I'm really grateful for all you've done. But this week is the last episode of The Steel Samurai. What? No!
I was wondering if we could ask you about Mr. Hammer.
Yes?
On the day of the murder, he went to Studio 2.
Huh? I thought he went to Studio 1. He stole the Steel Samurai costume too. What? Why did Mr. Hammer do something like that? Oh. I guess the rumour must be true then. The rumour? Yeah, Miss Vasquez, the producer, had some kind of hold on Hammer. She had some dirt on him. He'd do anything she said, apparently. Some dirt? What dirt? Dirt. You know, bad stuff. Not good stuff, the bad stuff. I know what dirt means. About 5 years ago, they were filming a movie starring Mr. Hammer. They were using the new studio, Studio 2. Some sort of accident happened during filming. After that, they never used Studio 2 again. They left the film set the way it was, too.
The film set? Was that trailer part of the set then?
What do you mean, the last Steel Samurai? I know it's a shock, but nothing can be done to save it now. Whoever really did kill Mr. Hammer also signed the Steel Samurai's death warrant. No, no! Also, I hear that Global Studios is going to change its programming. They're not going to make kid shows anymore. What? What? Why? I don't know. Maybe it's just not profitable to make things after 2 seasons anymore. It's sad, but that's what Global Studios decided.
Why aren't they going to make kid shows anymore?
The studio bigwigs didn't want the Steel Samurai around anymore. They want to forget all this ever happened. They want it quiet, you understand? But how can they just do that? What about all the kids who love Steel Samurai? It's okay. I'm sure the kids will be fine. They'll find a new hero to follow. No, that can't be true. If the program just ends, they'll be heartbroken for sure. Yep, that was the joke, Skylar. Nick, say something.
Yeah? I think evidence rather than words is called for here.
Here.
Here, take a look at this.
And this is?
A fan collected all these photographs. The kids love the Steel Samurai. The show shouldn't be cancelled just so some adults can save face. I would think you would understand that better than anyone.
You're right. Okay. But what can I do? I'm just a simple fangirl.
Well, for starters, you can tell me something. Tell me what it is that Global Studios is so intent on hiding. Tell me about this accident 5 years ago.
Okay. Oh, guess I unlocked that without even trying.
Could you tell us what happened 5 years ago?
Well, I can tell you what I've heard. Apparently 5 years ago someone died, and it was Hammer's fault. Someone died? It was an accident, of course. Anyway, the producer, Miss Vasquez, managed to hush it up.
And that's the dirt she had on Mr. Hammer?
And that's why Mr. Hammer would do anything Miss Vasquez ask him to. But it was an accident, right? Why didn't they just make it public? Well, you know, Mr. Ham was a big star back then. They were afraid about what would happen to his career if word got out. I see. You know who knows more about this? Miss Oldbag. Because I hate that Let's Players vocal cords. She was here at the studios back then, you know?
Thanks. We'll try asking her. If she'll talk.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what to make of that. So this photo was Mr. Hammer all along?
It seems that way.
Why'd Mr. Hammer do something like that? That's right, Skylar. What all devs use when they want everyone to suffer. For our crimes. Our many, many crimes. Okay, mostly just copyright fraud, but that's still a crime, technically. Wow! Wow! It must have taken him forever to collect all these. Kids love the Steel Samurai. They do, don't they? What's that?
An empty bottle of sleeping pills. With Mr. Hammer's fingerprints on it.
Now I'm really confused. I know the feeling, kid. I know the feeling. What's she got around her neck, anyway? Looks kind of like a digivice.
What? You're still slinking around? If you like the place so much, why don't you take over for me?
The odd windbag doesn't look so good.
Everyone's doing their darndest to forget Hammer. Who do they think made Global Studios what it is today? Hammer! It's all due to Hammer.
She's starting to froth at the mouth, Nick. Maybe we should keep a safe distance.
I wanted to ask you about 5 years ago.
Oh dear.
Who told? Who'd you hear that from? Huh? Nichols? Nichols?
Nichols, Nick. Penny Nichols. That assistant we talked to. Oh, I get it. Penny Nichols. For a second there, I thought she dead named her or something.
Oh, right. Anyway, we heard about the accident. It was during filming with Jack Hammer. He killed a man, didn't he?
Did you have to word it like that, Phoenix?
Whippersnappers! Dredging up dirt on someone's past like that, and the reason they departed, no less. I suppose you think this is fun? No, I'm just doing my job to protect Mr. Powers. You claim that Hammer stole Powers' costume? You expect me to believe that rubbish? Or do you have some kind of proof? Proof that Hammer stole Powers' costume? I'm sorry, Miss Oldbag, but I do have proof. I can prove that Mr. Hammer stole Mr. Powers' costume.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be the sleeping pills.
Here's my proof. What? What's a little empty bottle supposed to prove? It's a bottle of sleeping pills with Mr. Hammer's fingerprints on it. What does that prove? I'm sure old Hammer had some sleepless nights. Where's your proof that he used those pills on Powers?
And a large bone. Does this mean the studio's haunted?
Mr. Powers ate a T-bone steak for lunch, correct? Well, yes. So? This is the plate that you used to eat that steak. There are traces of sleeping pill powder on the plate. I see. Poor Hammer. You did wrong, Hammer. Rest your soul.
Miss Old Bag?
Okay, you win. I'll talk. I'm tired, see? Tired of holding it all in.
Miss Old Bag?
You're right. 5 years ago there was an accident. A fatal accident. What's worst, a paparazzi took a photo of it. That photo, well, it caused quite a stir. And guess who made it all better? Vasquez. She has ties to the Mafia. She silenced that paparazzi. That was the beginning. After that, she became a force to be reckoned with here at the studio.
I see.
But you have to understand, poor old Hammer never meant to harm anyone.
Miss Old Bag?
Hold on a minute.
Poor Miss Old Bag.
Here, take this. A photograph.
Wait a second.
This is the picture.
Is this the trailer in Studio 2?
Hammer was supposed to fight with a bad guy on top of these stairs there. He pushed the other actor and the man fell onto the flower box fence.
But how do you get this?
It was a long time ago. I don't feel much like talking about it.
I understand. 5-year-old photo added to the court record. Shows an accident involving Jack Hammer. So is that Vasquez in the photo there, or?
Poor old Hammer. He was a big star. The biggest. That accident 5 years ago is what did him in. He wanted to hide it. He didn't want anyone to know. Poor silly old Hammer. If he'd just come out and confessed, then Vasquez wouldn't have got her claws into him.
Right. October the 19th, Studio 1 entrance. Think back, Nick, to the day of the murder. Mr. Hammer put on the Steel Samurai costume. Then he left from here to go to Studio 2. Right. But why? I wonder if someone called him, like the director or the producer. October the 19th, Studio 2 entrance. Hey Nick, it's Miss Vasquez. Hello? Hello?
Mayor, you should at least try to be polite.
I'm watching the clouds.
That's all she had to say, apparently.
Excuse me? Mr. Hammer came here on the day of the murder and... Shh. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I'm watching the clouds. I'm not interested in talking to you. Do something, Nick. She's really ticking me off.
Oh dear.
Mr. Paz wasn't the killer. You don't have to cancel the Steel Samurai. I think I'm tired of the Steel Samurai. You did it? Nick, she did it! She's the killer! My Fey blood speaks to me. I know it, I know it. It really predicted the bronies.
Oh dear.
Okay, Ridley, thanks for coming by. I hope your stream goes well. Yeah. I know you had a poll in your Discord, but I don't know what it actually resulted in, so have fun streaming whatever you're streaming.
I was wondering if you could tell me about Mr. Manella.
If you must talk about that man, and I really hope you must, perhaps you could talk about it in the trailer. By yourselves.
Oh dear.
Anything to say about this?
She's not even looking.
Where?
What?
Where did you get that?
Well...
Old bag.
Old?
She means the security lady, Miss Oldbag, Nick.
Right. Anyway. Miss Vasquez, you hid this incident from the press, didn't you? And you used it to control Mr. Hammer.
The wind.
Huh?
It's gotten stronger, don't you think? The wind? Your conversation interests me. Let's talk about it more inside the trailer. Nick, she went inside the trailer. Okay, let's just confront another suspect with the evidence of their crime. With no protection whatsoever. You came. Well then, what was that you were talking about?
Why is she so eager to talk all of a sudden? Miss Vasquez, you were using that accident. You were blackmailing Mr. Hammer so you could control him, weren't you?
Yeah, it's a bit sus, but we're playing as Phoenix Wright, so we have to be a complete and utter moron. You know, like sort of like a twink version of a himbo.
That's why he was doing kid shows for petty change.
So I'm a blackmailer now. Well, that's what it was, wasn't it? I mean, sure, it was an accident, but you used it to drag Mr. Hammer down from his rightful place as a star. Oh? I haven't pulled anyone down from anywhere. Mr. Hammer's career went sour of its own accord. But... You're the cause. You pressured him. And to think it was just an accident. Excuse me? What is this all about? You keep saying accident, accident. How are you so sure?
What do you mean?
Must I spell everything out for you? Think. What would it be if it wasn't an accident? Involuntary accident?
No. No way. You mean Mr. Hammer did it? On purpose?
Yeah, Twinkbo. That'll do. That is what I mean.
Where's your proof? Can you prove it?
Just think. Would he have let me run his life for 5 years over a mere accident? And I ran him hard, believe you me. But the security lady said it was an accident. Oh, well, she was a big fan of Hammers, you see. She jumped on the reporter who brought that photo into the studio. She wrenched it out of his hand, she did. Gave him a few bruises, too.
So that's why she had the photo.
She's an old fool. Of course, all the reporters would need is the negatives. He could have made a copy. But he didn't. The only copy of that photo is the one you hold. Give it to me. Now. What? This is valuable evidence. Boys? Okay, if I was attracted to men, I'd be jealous right now. Just,
Who are they?
professionals. They're good at erasing various things. What do you think? Would you like to be erased?
What?
The trial ends tomorrow? How unfortunate. It's a shame you'll have to miss it.
Tell me why. Why do you want this photograph so badly? This is Mr. Hammer's dirt, no? Why should De Vasquez care about it at all?
I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to think about that, where you're going. So long, friends. Boys, erase away. No!
Game over. Hold it right there. I heard everything, pal. De Vasquez, you're coming down to the precinct with me now.
So, these guys just gonna sort of, surrender? Not bad. Very well. It appears this contest will be decided tomorrow then. In court. I'll be looking forward to it.
Hey, you okay, pal? Sorry, I was a little late with my entrance. I don't get many chances to practice that sort of thing.
Detective Gumshoe? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was really scared.
Huh, don't mention it, pal. Just doing my job.
Detective Gumshoe?
Sorry, it's just I wanted to say that line ever since I became a detective.
Hey Amanda, how's it going? Yeah. Pretty much the only thing Gumshoe does properly in the entire series, I think. That's okay, Amanda. Gumshoe's already taken care of it. Oh, good. The world's where I keep all my stuff. Ah, yeah, that's a fair point. Gumshoe can never fail at being a pal.
Okay, I got one more job to do today. I'm sure we'll run into each other again soon.
Well, Nick, it looks like we're going to get close to the bottom of this.
And who's at the bottom? De Vasquez? To be continued?
Sorry, I had to. Okay, 1 hour into the stream. Guess we can keep going. Okay. The little green owl wants me to keep learning Welsh. He can wait. October the 20th, 10 AM. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honour.
The defence is ready, Your Honour. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defence will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement.
In yesterday's session, the defence presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From the testimonies, the truth will become clear.
Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. See what I did there? You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls Mr. Vasquez to the stand. Mr. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation? De Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2? As everyone here knows, yes. I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here.
Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder.
Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay.
Right. Your favourite show will be avenged. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak.
The day of the murder. I entered the trailer a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later, when we all went to Studio 1. That's all.
I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you?
The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk. What with that monkey's head toppling over? Van added to the court record. Manelli used this van to drive Vasquez to Studio 1 after meeting in the trailer.
I see. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Before we continue, turns out Ridley is streaming No More Heroes. Nice.
By yourself?
Yes.
And you didn't stop in the employee area?
No.
Are you always this terse?
Yes.
Oh dear.
That's right, Froy. TASMR.
Did no one leave during the meeting?
No one.
Come on, let's talk a bit more about that.
Objection!
The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony.
The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. Poor Edgeworth. Can't tell his boyfriend off in peace.
And when exactly was that?
I've forgotten.
Maybe you could try remembering.
No.
The meeting ended at 4 o'clock. The rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I'd think it was between those times. You would think. Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean?
It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van.
Oh right. And what were you doing in that time?
Don't hit your desk. It irritates me.
Yes, Mr. Wright?
Oops. Sorry. It was a 15-minute break.
Do you have someone who can verify this?
Sal.
No, I meant someone else.
One person is enough.
If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proves she didn't eat that steak,
Well, Nick, find anything?
I kind of wish you'd said a little more.
It's hard to think she's pretty used to being the boss. Yeah, the animation in this is fantastic. I mean, this is the first game, so obviously it was designed for the Game Boy Advance, and it's a bit basic, but it's basically all keyframes. Hey, Catwarmer. Yeah, she don't. Well, to be fair, I think that's her determined face. She's actually being serious. Although, to be fair, she's being serious because she's afraid everyone's gonna cancel her favourite TV program, so yeah. Anyway, but I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said somewhere. Oh, there's no bones in the steaks, is there? Okay, I'll just save you safe. Huh, as I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak, but I say you did not.
What's this now, Mr. Wright?
Look at this.
It's a plate.
This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at a table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. She ate the bone too, like a hyena. You didn't eat any steak in that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator.
I see. But what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai.
Order? Are you saying?
Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands.
Mr. Wright? Isn't that a little presumptuous?
What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes. I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? Let's just do a bit of safe skimming here. I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. Huh. You see? Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What?
What's the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body.
I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. Alright, because it's been mended with duct tape.
Take that!
I present my proof. The so-called murder weapon.
That is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run-through. But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're...
Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane?
Are you even aware of what you're saying?
If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell us what was. How was Hammer killed?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what the weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer?
Some sort of hammer?
Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then. Look at this photo. What's this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs.
How's everyone doing this evening anyway?
Order! Order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about?
Oh, good.
This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What?
Are you saying?
Yes. What happened 5 years ago? Has happened again. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2:30 on the day of the murder. Mr. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say.
Sweating a bit. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way he caused another man to die. 5 years ago.
Precisely. Ironic, isn't it?
Cue 30-minute discussion on the definition of irony. I think the judge just does it for fun. To be fair, I think it's supposed to represent people, the audience in the court babbling a bit. Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff.
You deny what I say is true.
Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument that Hammer died at the trailer as you say. Yet, the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming I carried the body to Studio 1? And returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body?
Yeah. I mean, gavels actually look like a lot of fun, don't they? I wonder if that's actually why people become judges. So that you just get to use the gavel. Like... but probably louder.
The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to the Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body?
Obviously, she used the van.
What if she had another way to move the body, other than with her own hands?
For instance?
Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body.
Interesting. Let's hear it then.
Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. Ding. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1, and you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony.
There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me.
You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume.
Hold on, right? Don't forget, it was Sal Manella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator?
Of course, Sam Manella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put in the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done all that alone. Also, don't forget they had to dispose of the steel samurai costume. They had to because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burnt it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue?
No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose, you win. It was fun.
I win?
Oh, that was anticlimactic.
So, what happens next? Don't question mark me. Don't you have anything to say?
What would you like me to say?
Huh? I lost. Something like that.
I just said that.
Wait, so you mean... Vasquez? So it was you? You killed Jack Hammer? Did you also kill Cock Robin with your bow and arrow?
Who can say?
Huh?
Are you sure that I did, Mr. Wright? We just engaged in a battle of wits, and the result of that battle? You proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer.
Right.
But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright.
What? What? Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely that she did it, but, there's no proof.
Edgeworth isn't sure.
Well, I came here as a witness today.
You're arrested.
If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving.
What do I do now? Miss Vasquez, you did it.
That wasn't a question.
Did you do it?
No.
Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I'm not sure that question helped this court get any closer to a verdict. What do I do now? I'd like you to testify again. Testify? Again?
Know when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said that all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time.
Damn. It's come so far only to fail. As it seems there are no further questions, I'd like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez.
Objection!
Where? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor.
Edgeworth and Phoenix have one brain cell between them, and Phoenix has it at the moment. I didn't.
I see. Very well.
Objection!
Your Honor, I request the witness testify again.
You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness.
I just want to hear your testimony again.
Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Except maybe to pad the game further.
Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly do you want her to testify about?
Well, yes, indeed. Verily, I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body.
After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Nick, why did Edgeworth...
Who knows? He probably realised she did it too.
But wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that?
Edgeworth.
After finding the body, I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, and then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home.
I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Okay, Nick, we're close. Real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick.
Right.
Okay.
What time was that?
We were to meet at 5 o'clock for the rehearsal, so I'd say it was then.
When exactly did you and Mr. Manella arrive at the studio?
About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you.
Where are the other employees when you got to the studio?
They weren't there yet.
Well, then you could have put the hammer in the costume with Salmonella's help.
Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy.
But, boy, the witness will continue her testimony. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct?
So he says.
Did no one go to call him?
Remember,
Remember what?
there was a dead body lying in front of us. Yet you expect me to be calm?
You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Wait a second, wouldn't that be the other way round?
The other way round?
You discovered a murdered body, and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go missing for the looking for the missing person? I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez?
Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one else was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Paz doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing.
Poor Powers. Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez. You may continue. What was everyone doing at the time?
No one said a thing. It was silence, completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry I'm late. Then silence. Dead silence.
Was that a pun?
Silence. Hey, Nick! Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up.
Oldbag, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Paz had done it?
She said because she saw him going toward the studio.
Right, the Steel Samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Paz based solely on the security lady's words?
Perhaps not. She seemed to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact.
That photograph? Meaning the one taken by the security camera?
She is not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer.
I don't think there's anything in there I can use. You asked to be left out?
Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned. And I'm really not fond of that sort of thing.
But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question.
Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us.
Covered for you, or covered it up for you? There must have been a lot riding on it with all those bigwigs in the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. The scripts in your direction notes?
Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen.
No, I guess not.
Wait.
Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio 1 for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your scripts and notes?
Well, I was under the impression we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything.
Why? There was a
murder, after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that?
Oh yeah, I guess. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please continue.
Yes, thank you, Edgeworth. That was pretty bloody obvious.
Your Honour? I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have to have known about the murder before going to Studio 1. Got him. Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth. What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of changing a career change to defence? I appreciate the concern, Your Honour. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. This is the best day of my life. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defence? What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well. The witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason.
I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Okay. Oh. So she thought he was injured, not Powers.
You knew that Hammer was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers.
What?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Ham is dragging his leg in the photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
But pretending?
One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why do you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured?
I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right. He must have gotten it wrong.
I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Paz who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez? Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Ham was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah! And when he was doing this, well,
it would have to have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered.
Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Ham was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order? Order? I will have order. Witness. Can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez.
Very well. I have a question for you.
Ugh. Why are the real killers always so persistent?
Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death.
Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? Okay. Okay. I have proof and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. This is my proof. This is a photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammond was at the height of his fame. With Devask's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, the accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, Devask, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change.
bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate.
Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the X-Star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We're talking about motives here, and yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who killed De Vasquez, and not the other way round. What motive would Miss Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright? Please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for the murder.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's, no motive because it was self-defense, so...
She had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense.
What's that now?
It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez.
What? What? What?
Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the steel samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill De Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years.
There we go.
So you did do it, didn't you?
Yes, I'm guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah, Miss Vasquez.
What? What happened?
What happened here?
Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel!
Miss Vasquez, try to remain calm. No, how could this?
It was an accident. Mr. Ham was doing an action scene and...
No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez. No. Please don't die. Please. Oh. Thanks, Roy. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose. Again. Oh, so she was blackmailing him because she was upset he killed her. That's fair enough.
Mr. Edgeworth, where's De Vasquez?
In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever.
I see. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. I thank you, Your Honor.
I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle.
Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers.
There's that impact font.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Whew. October the 20th, 1:12 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know that now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me. Why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wants to put the blame on you because... It's because you were the Steel Samurai. Because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids' show, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you. I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. So am I.
Congratulations, WP.
Oh. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Nick, Edgeworth.
Serious business face. Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gone away if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years.
Meet again?
However, in retrospect, it would have been better if we had not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Backer. Mr. Wright? Was that guy your friend?
What? Friends? As if? They're rivals. Rivals. Right, Nick?
For now we are, I guess. But, you know, maybe if I gave him a nice box of chocolates.
Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing out on something? Come on, Nick. Tell me. What's the deal with you and Edgeworth?
And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing the accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids shows again.
Nick, this is it. The new show starts today. You're going to watch it with me, right?
I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it.
You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant.
Fine, fine, I'll do it.
Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time.
I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real world powers.
I'm going to let this joke slide, game. The end. A brand new episode has been added. Okay, so that's the end of Chapter 3. So in the original Game Boy Advance release, which was only in Japan, Chapter 4 was actually the last episode. And Chapter 4... Yeah, we get the backstory in the next chapter, Colourfroy. Yeah, and that basically closes off the Edgeworth Phoenix Wright arc, and the 5th episode is basically a standalone episode that's sort of more like a prequel for the sequel series. But anyway, yep, it's 1 hour 55 minutes, so I guess it's a bit late to be starting a new chapter, so we'll get to that on Friday. Okay. So I'll just find someone to raid then. And thank you for coming, Fry. I hope everyone's having a lovely evening, or whatever time of day it happens to be. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening with the Metroid Prime stream, I'll probably mention when there's news of my capture card arriving on Twitter. Obviously on Friday, regardless of what's happening, I'll be playing Phoenix Wright with no cosplay on. Yeah, sorry, Firefox is being slow again. So, well, yeah, that's basically the whole statement. Monday I'll either be starting whatever wins the poll, or Metroid Prime, depending on how things go. The poll's still quite close, and everything, and pretty much, I think it's a sort of three-way tie between Bloodstained, Cave Story, and I think there's a couple of votes for just sticking with Phoenix Wright. That's an option too if you've been enjoying these streams. But, yep, it's loaded now, so guess we'll raid Ridley playing No More Heroes then. So, yep, I hope to see you all on Friday. Don't know when my capture card will arrive, but I'll be posting it about on my Twitter. I think that's the third time I've said that. So, thanks for coming. Have a good whatever time of day it is for you, and we'll be raiding in 3, 2, 1, and see ya.
Brave! Joining the fight with Party 4. How you doing? How did Ace Attorney go?